Thank you to the vacuum cleaner for teaching me that sometimes our biggest nightmare isn't the heaping pile of garbage in the kitchen, but rather the crumbs underneath the couch we've been neglecting. Tucked away at the bottom of obvious, we left a mess too small to bother cleaning up. Thank you, eggshells, for teaching me that even after you've been broken to pieces, others will still talk about wanting to walk all over you, as if they expect you to do anything else other than shatter, but even shells that are easily broken never forget how to cut skin. Thank you to the voicemail machine, for teaching me that hearing a message can still feel the same years after we've heard it the first time. That it's easy to lose track of everyday words until we're left with outdated reminders of how to live. Thank you to the coffee maker on the counter, for teaching me that, hey, you could be loud and obnoxious and sound like your sink is being broken into, but hey, you'll find love anyway. Because you make somebody else out there feel alive. Sometimes it's the things that cry the loudest that give us the biggest motivation to step out the door. Thank you to Listerine mouthwash, for teaching me that cleaning out the bullet holes can hurt worse than the initial bang. It can sting. A lot worse than we planned. What we deal with the 30 seconds of tsunami is just for the chance to feel refreshed again. Starting over is impossible. But we can always attempt to clean and repair. Thank you to the broken acoustic guitar, for teaching me that something designed for beauty can still be mistreated. That we, who were born in music, can still be held in destruction. How many times do you have to change the strings before you realize you're playing way too hard? Thank you to the coffin, for teaching me that even after the memories of our loved ones lose their voice, after they get buried underneath the days following their exit, it is perfectly okay to hold them close, to want to die and decay alongside the same people who reminded us of what it was like to live in the sun. But at the same time, it is okay to still want to live. Even though these lessons have painted us in bruises and lacerations, it is perfectly okay to hold them close. Even though everything would be much simpler if it was all set ablaze, nothing is more dangerous than a well-fed fire. Even though these hands have been mangled by brilliance, they're still my hands, and they're still alive. So I'm going to use them, and I'm going to hold on tight. Thank you. When I first met her, she was planted in the corner of some party. Like a dandelion wallflower waiting for somebody to whisper her off into the breeze, I could tell she was destined to spread her fingers around horizons. But instead, she hid her roots in the corner of some party. And there I was, with a stupid rubber grin on my face that stretched all the way to her, surrounded by so many other things I could have been doing at the time, but instead, I made the time to learn the architecture of her mind. She was inconsistent, to say the least. She was like banana peels wrapped in rose thorns, always slipping on her words until the blood would rush to her head and her face would blossom into her own personal bonfire. I thought it was cute. And she told me that she loved to perform. That Under the Spotlight was the only place that she could call home for the past 7 years, but her parents always dreamed her into an office space. She was raised with a computer, and a telephone, and a fax machine in the womb. And she hated it. And I could tell she hated it because everything about her just screamed exploration and freedom and applause. And when I asked her why she didn't just go for it, she compared herself to soda that's gone flat. That she lost her excitement so long ago that nobody would bother to sip her anymore, but that was a lie. Because she was the most exciting thing I'd met in years. She was Budweiser in a champagne glass, and I would drink every last drop of her until I was tipsy enough to fall asleep on her couch. And in the morning, I'd make her a Last Supper breakfast in bed, right before she gets summoned back to the tower. When I'm no longer there to whisper her away, she will find her own breath. She'll find a wind strong enough to tear banisters apart, and I know that it's going to take time before she's ready to break free. Maybe months. Maybe even longer. But I know that when I do finally find her again, it won't be in the corner of some party. It'll be at the theater, when the only thing connecting us anymore is a ticket stub and a stage, and trust me, I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat the entire time. Once the house lights dim and the curtains are wiped away, there she'll be. Under the spotlight she's called home for years. And if I'm lucky enough, she'll dance for me. And if she'd let me, I'll be right there, front row, clapping my hands as many times as she needs me to.